Hey guys, it's Chelsea's dog and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new here, this is my Pushing 30 series where I talk about some of the struggles that I might be dealing with as I close out my 20s. Today I'm going to be talking about why I'm even working 3 different jobs and how I'm managing that as somebody with ADHD. But before we get into it, I'm going to give you the same disclaimer as my last Pushing 30 video. Please just try to act like the fire alarm isn't beeping like every 30 seconds. So let's get into it. I honestly can't even really pinpoint when I realized I had ADHD. I feel like the first time I've even heard of it was something around like the Olympics when Michael Phelps said that he had ADHD as a kid, and that was like the first time I heard that term. But I was probably in like middle school at the time, or like maybe like 6th grade. And around that time, I was like, I had no idea what that was. I just thought it was something where it was these little boys that'll just be super hyper and little guys in class that will just like talk a lot and always get in trouble and sent to the principal's office. As more people started talking about it and I started to look more into it, I realized that, okay, maybe I have ADD. Like, I don't feel like I'm a very hyperactive person, but everything else I definitely relate to. Like the fact that I can't finish my homework, like just the way that my room looks, it's just little things like that. And okay, I specifically remember this one time in 3rd grade where I was absent from school because I had some sort of like rash breakout, and I had to go back to school because I had some library books that were due, like to the public library, not just the school library, and I had to find this specific book, okay? And I went to my class and I was just like rummaging through my desk, and there were a bunch of other books in there, so I could not find it. Like, it was a mess. And obviously I was taking a lot longer than, you know, what my teacher had expected. I just could not find this one book that I needed to return, okay? So my teacher comes up and like tries to like help me find it, but she sees how messy like my desk is, pulls out every single book that's in my desk, and she is like pretty much giving me like a humiliation ritual in front of the whole class, saying how I was like messy and like how, you know, our desks are supposed to be clean and organized and things like that. I can't remember the like details of what she was actually saying. I just remember her like reaction and tone and just like how embarrassing it was. That guilt has like stuck with me throughout like my life. Okay, might I reiterate that I was not supposed to be at school that day. I was just there to grab my book and go. And so that was probably like the first memory that I have really linked to ADHD, because at this time I literally just had no concept of organization. Even at 8 years old, I would try to tell my mom about these things and she was just, you know, Filipino mom, she's gonna say, you're just lazy, which maybe that was the case, but my mind is just structured so differently. The way that I procrastinate, it's not even because I don't want to do something, it's because I feel like I'm overwhelmed with so many things that I need to do that I end up just not doing it. It's weird because I feel like my ADHD is like mixed with like anxiety. My mind just can't process like doing tasks one at a time. It's always just like this jumble of a bunch of different things that I need to do, and that stresses me out so bad. Naturally, I tend to gravitate towards things that I like to do, but obviously in life you can't just do everything that you like to do. You have to do things that you don't want to do in order to just get by, survive, be an adult. Now that I'm a grown-ass woman, I still am struggling with just focus in general and just organization. So many like little things, especially time management. I feel like I have my little spurts of getting better, and then I get distracted, or like once my routine shifts, like everything just gets thrown off. So it's hard. It's definitely hard. At this point, I am definitely considering getting on ADHD medication. It's just something that I, you know, have to figure out with my insurance and stuff, because I don't really want to have to pay out of pocket for it, but we'll see. It's been something that I've been putting off for years, but I am at a point where I just feel like, okay, I'm going into my 30s and it feels like this isn't gonna get any better for me. I've been living with this like untreated my whole life. I might as well give it a try. I mean, like, what's the worst I can happen? I'm already miserable as it is. But back to the topic of the video. So the reason that I have 3 jobs, it's not really by choice. If I lived in a perfect world where I could just get any job that I wanted, I would probably just have one that was full-time and had benefits, especially health insurance, vision insurance, a dental plan. I don't even really care too much about the retirement plan because I have my own like savings and retirement plan, but it's not my choice, okay? It's just what I have to do to survive. Actually, for a long time though, I have worked 2 jobs at a time, so it's not something that I'm completely not used to. And even in high school, I had a lot of like extracurriculars, so I've always had a lot going on. Technically, I'm employed by 5 different companies right now. Yeah, and by employed, I mean I'm not a contractor. I'm W-2 with them. The one that I consider my main job is for the startup company right now. So I started as a contractor where I was really just supposed to be a video editor, but because it's a startup, we have to pivot a lot. The company has its ups and downs. I honestly don't know how we're making money, let's be real. So I work in digital marketing and I was part of the social media team. Started off as a video editor, but then I've had to pivot along the way. I think like within the first 2 months or so, they promoted me to an official 1099 employee. So now I am part-time and I'm getting like 30 hours a week. And this time I'm like an in-house video editor. I had one day where I was like out of office. And then maybe like 2 months later, I had to pivot again because my manager got let go. So now I'm having to help with the social media stuff. I was in that role of an influencer marketing social media person. Fast forward another 2 months, I am now just a graphic designer because they just want to cut social media entirely. When I first got this job, I was really excited for the position because I worked a long time trying to do like media jobs. I've interned a lot, worked for free, worked under the table where I would get less than minimum wage. So for me to finally get a job that was in a creative role and, you know, it was kind of fun. Like we were in like this co-working office. My co-workers were super chill. And then we had these little like productions once a month. This was a fun job for me until the last few pivots and like the let go of my manager. So a lot just has changed for me. Okay, ever since then. And I just feel like the instability of not knowing if I'm still going to have my job, even though they're paying me pretty well, is just not something I want to deal with right now. Okay, they also cut my hours a lot. I don't know how long I have with this company. Okay, and because I was already getting signs of that, I was like, okay, let me find a backup job already. So as I'm trying to make these little adjustments to my manager getting let go, I was able to land another job as an e-commerce manager for another company. I've been doing e-commerce for years. If you add everything up together, I was just like looking at my LinkedIn. It's been almost like 10 years. Granted, I worked 2 jobs at once for of my professional experience, but that's a long time for somebody that's my age, if you really think about it. I'm only 27. But anyways, I was able to get this job. It actually happened really quick. It's so crazy because when I was applying for my first job at the startup, it took me like a year and a half to finally land that job because I was getting interviews, but I wasn't getting like that final call for this one. Like I finally got it. That's why I was so excited to like hop on board. And then with this job, I just felt like it happened so fast. Like literally I was probably applying for like a month and just immediately got like an interview and started within like a month. I actually really do love working for this company. My boss is amazing. She's great. My coworker's great. And it's like hybrid hours, so there is some flexibility. And I think what I'm kind of realizing is I do miss a lot of like the problem solving and like logistics and stuff that I don't get with my creative job. It's one thing to just constantly have to like put out videos or like graphics and stuff like that, but I was starting to realize that even though I'm doing what I love, it's not for me and it's just not fulfilling. I feel like I kind of don't really believe in the purpose of what we're doing. So I kind of just lost that initial feeling of novelty and just excitement for the job. So now with this secondary job, it just helped me kind of feel a little bit more motivated again. It's a company that I really do appreciate and I want to help grow. So that's where I feel like it kind of balances things out for me. And then my third job, I've been doing for like 2 years. So I have been teaching Muay Thai part-time since maybe 2023. I started off at one gym doing just maybe 3 or 4 classes a week. And then maybe like a year or so ago, I got offered to start working at other places. They offered to pay me a lot more where I have been teaching at. So I honestly just couldn't say no to that. So now I'm working at 3 different Muay Thai gyms. Okay, it was a little bit further out from where I lived, but teaching is just something that I really am passionate about and I do love it. I feel like if I did enjoy school, I would have tried to become a teacher. But in Muay Thai, I feel like sharing something that I'm passionate about, that is just so much more meaningful to me. And it's something that through the years, I've grown to appreciate so much more. I really didn't realize how much I would enjoy teaching the kids, because at first I was kind of like, oh, all these little kids, it's kind of hard to get them to focus, but it just reminds me of myself as a kid when I started doing martial arts. So there's a part of me that really wants to just use my experience to help them grow and enjoy their experience as well. The teens have grown on me a lot. There's been little instances lately where they just need a little bit more guidance for things outside of what's going on at the gym, and it just feels like I kind of am connecting with them on another level that's outside of just martial arts. You know, when I look at my first like martial arts coaches growing up, they were good at disciplining us as a class, as a team. They were good at giving us drills. They were good at making elite athletes. But at the end of the day, what they really were good at was just giving us these pep talks and having these conversations with us that helped us bring these life lessons to the world and just like take it outside of what we're learning here in the studio. So that's something that I admire and look up to a lot to this day. Now, as somebody with ADHD, you're probably like, what does your schedule even look like with all these damn jobs? And I will say, honestly, my 2 hybrid jobs are really chill, especially with like my graphic design job. It didn't take me very long to do all of the ads that I need to do. They did offer me more hours, but at this moment, I want to put in a little bit more effort into making my YouTube channels and like making my own content as well, because I don't want to get stuck in that loop of just working for somebody else and just constantly trying to please other people when I don't feel fulfilled in what I'm doing. And with my gym jobs, I only really teach at each gym once a day right now. I'm probably gonna actually add one more into my week, but I am definitely still struggling with the procrastination and just locking the fuck in. Okay. And I guess what just makes it so hard is the structure of it all. I'm just like, okay, now I have to manage my time and just like plan things to this little window that I have, which once you start giving me all of these little time constraints, that's when my brain just freaking shrinks. I feel stuck. I feel like I am in paralysis. I don't even know how to really explain it. When you give me these time blocks, it feels like I have so much to do even though I have very little. And sometimes just that anxiety alone of knowing that I have these things to do makes me want to procrastinate. I'm just dwelling on the fact that I even have to do these things. And I keep thinking, there's this time that I'm looking at. The crazy thing is that me talking about it out loud just makes me feel like maybe you're a fucking lazy ass bitch. Or maybe that's really just what it is. Just fucking get it together, just lock the fuck in. And I think another source of my anxiety that kind of leads me to the procrastination, time blocks and like time pressures that just life itself puts on you. Even though my financial situation did a complete 180 since last year, it's just not enough when you live in LA County. It's a constant struggle of, okay, I still need to get this bread. Like, I'm constantly stressing myself out about what other things I need to do to get myself to the goals that I want to achieve. And then on top of that, I haven't really locked in fitness-wise since I stopped doing my sport. That, I feel like, is the thing that's driving me the most crazy. Not being able to do my sport. Yes, I could do it, but I've given up so many sacrifices to try to compete. My gym alone usually takes me like an hour to get there. And then my membership fees on top of that. And so it's like, I've already devoted so much time and like money into that I need to just shift my focus into my career path right now. But trying to lock in on like workouts that are outside of training, yeah, that's not happening for me. Unfortunately, I'm just like, bro, like, why do I have to do this? I mean, I don't, but look at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, I am not the athlete that I once was, and I know that I am. There's so much anxiety. Mine. That's how I constantly feel. Wait till I get my period, bro. There's just so many other external pressures that maybe I'm just adding on to myself. My main goal for this year has been to move out, whether that's with a roommate or not. I just want to have my own space so that I can build my own routine and have mental clarity outside of my home. I don't mind living at home, I really don't. But my siblings are getting bigger and they need their space, I need my own space. I need peace and quiet sometimes. That has been the main thought that's been lingering in my head, which is like, girl, you need to just get it together so you can finally just have your own space. But at the same point, I feel like I'm taking up a lot of my boyfriend's space, which I do feel really bad about. The switching back and forth between my home and then being at my boyfriend's and then like all these little jobs. That aspect of having to switch focus constantly and then having to make little small decisions like what I want to eat today or what I want to wear today. It's too much. Literally, there's so much like decisions to be made. I'm not even gonna lie to you that I'm constantly breaking down, especially once my period comes around. You already know that there is going to be a mental breakdown happening. So I guess all that to say that I'm really not managing my ADHD well at all. It is just a constant battle, but it feels like I'm fighting multiple battles. Going back to wanting to get on ADHD medication, it really just feels like it's that time. It's that time. So yeah, if anybody wants to recommend anything to me, psychiatrist, or let me know what your experiences are with ADHD medication and if it's worth it. I've tried to do the natural way, like just taking regular supplements, especially being an athlete where I'm constantly working out. But anyways, things that actually do work for me, let's get into it. This might be controversial, but I don't care. ChatGPT has helped me out a lot. Okay, whether it's for just venting or just helping me structure my schedule for the week, it's been really effective in just helping me restructure some of my thoughts. I'm not solely reliable on ChatGPT, which I think is, you know, kind of the purpose of it anyway. It should just be like a tool that you use to help you on a day-to-day, but at the end of it, like, it shouldn't be doing everything. For me, it has helped me out a lot. That's just me though. If you don't fuck with AI, that's on you. I'm still kind of like trying to get into the flow of a healthy and active lifestyle again. That's outside of Muay Thai, but that is something that does help me out. Just regulate my system, like having a good workout. And I think more than that, it's like finding a community, finding like a hobby where you're able to just get out of the routine that you're constantly in and then socialize with people while you're doing whatever activity it is. That truly is something that I appreciate a lot. I think out here in Long Beach, I'm still trying to find that because I tried the rock climbing thing, and even though it was fun, I was going by myself. For the first time that I went, I met like a girl group, but since then they kind of stopped making events, so it's been hard to like socialize with other people. Again, there's so many decisions that I feel like need to be made. I do just need to just freaking pick one. At least getting some form of workout in has been really helpful. Even just walking outside and being in the sun. Another thing that's worked out for me is just finding a cafe and like working there. I think my problem is that I always like to spend money while I'm there, which I know I don't really have to. It does help me just focus on what I need to do instead of being at home and getting a little bit too comfortable and trying to do like too many things at once. Especially on those like little time slots where I feel like I have to move my car for street sweeping. Like those are the times where I'll go to a coffee shop, just sit down and work a little bit, and then I can go home and then still do my work, but at the same time I can do stuff at home like make some food or like do my laundry or whatever the case is. Again, it has not been easy to try to work 3 jobs. You know, at the end of the day, it does get my bills paid, and I feel like I'm still able to save while I don't have my own place yet, so that's good. I think it's just a matter of also trying to level up and get to my next goal. So what's next? The answer, I don't fucking know. The next goal for me would just be get a full-time job. Like, I would really enjoy to just have one full-time job and then maybe still do a little bit of coaching on the weekends or one other class during the middle of the week, because again, that's something that I do enjoy doing. And I also want to take advantage of those jujitsu classes that are there, because I'm usually teaching how to do jujitsu. Because I'm usually teaching at a jiu-jitsu gym. That's one of those things where like I'll try it here and there, but I haven't gotten fully into it yet, so I want to make that more consistent. So I guess, yeah, the next 2 goals would be to 1, find a full-time job that will help me finally move out, whether that's on my own or with a roommate. And then 2, just be more consistent with jiu-jitsu. I feel like I've said that previously. Again, the gyms that I work out are a little bit further out now, but I'm hoping that with my new schedule, I'll be able to at least make the most out of the drive. So it's like if I have one class going on in the evening, I can stay for the jiu-jitsu class right after, or vice versa. 3, if possible, I'm gonna try to get an ADHD medication, because seriously, that's just something that I feel like I really need at this point. I feel like I'm just sitting here waiting for an opportunity to happen to me. So in the meantime, I might as well try to get my shit together and do other things. And one of those things that I feel like regardless I'm gonna need to do is take care of this. So yeah, I don't know if this feels relatable for anybody else. Maybe you don't even have 3 jobs, but you just feel like your ADHD is taking over your life. Well, okay, we're on the same boat, so hit me up. If you're somebody that's been taking ADHD medication, please let me know what your experience is. I'm really, really curious, and if you have any suggestions or just tips on how to go about it, I would love to hear that from people. If maybe you're somebody that wants to work 3 jobs for whatever reason, but you can reach out to me for advice too, I don't mind. I'll give you guys a little live update in the next month or so, but I digress. I will see you guys in the next video. I do have some travel plans coming up, so stay tuned for some more vlogs. And then in October, it's my motherfucking birthday month, which means I'll be 28. It's really time to lock in. But I will catch you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Bye.